Auckland has just adopted the Auckland Plan 2050, a high-level vision of what people living in New Zealand's largest city want the region to look like by 2050. But just who helped shape this plan? Who gets a say in Auckland? Auckland is ethnically diverse, it's young, and it's got huge income differences. But out of 26,000 Aucklanders who gave their feedback on the plan, 3/4 were Pākehā or European. 2/3 of them were from high-income areas. 7 out of 10 were 35 or older. The Auckland that someone in Devonport wants isn't necessarily the same as the Auckland someone in St Heliers, or Avondale, or Mangere envisages. So we set out to ask Aucklanders what matters to them, and whether they think anyone's listening. First stop Devonport, an upscale seaside suburb on Auckland's North Shore. Residents of Devonport Takapuna earn comfortably above average incomes, are mostly Pākehā, and had one of the highest rates of submissions on the Auckland Plan.
The thing is, you do have to be educated and vocal and probably have a reasonable amount of money to have your voice heard. I do personally know a community board member, and I know a couple of council members. Not that I've ever actually really complained to them, but I have had conversations with them about various things. And I think a lot of people don't have that.
The Orake local board area, where St Heliers is located, has the highest household incomes in the region by a long way, is 3/4 Pākehā, and made an above average number of submissions.
There's lots of different areas in Auckland that are not necessarily geographically very far away from one another, but where people have quite different types of lives and have quite different issues at the forefront of their minds. Certainly we do get ample opportunity to have a voice. We're constantly getting things in the post about local issues. You know, we're changing the bus routes, what do you think? We want to put high density housing on an environmental area, what do you think? In terms of how much that actually affects the eventual outcome, I can't really tell you.
We're heading to Avondale now, in the faux local board area. It's about in the middle of the spectrum when it comes to incomes, but it's a bit more diverse than Auckland as a whole. More Pasifika people, and people from Asian backgrounds, and fewer Pākehā. It made fewer than average submissions.
We have a great sense of community in Avondale. It's also close to the city. The biggest issue in Avondale would be youth and youth mental illness. There isn't a lot of work around building a community for youth. Is our voice being heard Auckland-wide? I honestly don't know.
Our last stop is Whavona in Mangere or Tāhuhu. People here earn some of the lowest incomes in Auckland, and more than half the population identify as Pasifika. Apart from the small island communities of Waiheke and Great Barrier, people here made the fewest submissions on the Auckland Plan 2050.
There's a lot of families that have to make a choice day by day. Do they put petrol in their car, or do they provide food for their kids? We have a lot of opportunities to raise our voices, to have a say, but most of our people do not know where to go. It is also a culture that we are not taught to raise our voice or to bring up what matters. And so we need to educate our people, and then I believe that, like the local board members, they need to be reaching out to the community more, coming out to the community rather than the community going to them.
One of the 2050 Plan goals is for every Aucklander to have a sense of belonging and participation. Some already do, but in other places, like Mangere, they're still battling to find their voice.